Adobe competitors smell blood in the water. The Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series is back. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning and focus combination. So good, so good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a tech photo day. Could be illustration, could be anything Adobe. Anyways, today's going to be an interesting one. Once again, we're getting back into the Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series. You guys wanted it, so I'm going to do it. Of course, we're going to do all of the Elon stuff and all of the SpaceX stuff continuously, but we're going to kind of, I guess, put some sprinklings in of Adobe alternatives because you guys want it. You're trying to break away from Adobe, cut the cord, like I ended up doing about 5 years ago, I think 5-6 years ago. When I cut the cord, I did it cold turkey. I don't expect any of you guys to do that. It wasn't easy because I was a professional, still am, and I was using Adobe product for probably about 20 years. When I cut the cord, it was for multiple reasons. Number one, I was sick of paying this in perpetuity, this payment to them, this rental fee, this license, and never owning anything. That was number one. And number two, I saw how much of a, let's say, an evil company Adobe was. Adobe is one of those companies that they will do everything in their power to screw you and to put an extra penny, half a cent into their pocket. They don't care about us at all. And that has been just blatantly obvious as of late. And like I said, there's blood in the water. Adobe's competitors, their rivals, are seeing that the DOJ is suing Adobe, probably for millions and millions, who knows, maybe $1 billion. I am going to venture to say that we are going to start to see a class action lawsuit from multiple attorneys are levied against Adobe. They haven't done that very often in the past, but I think it's going to happen because they see the DOJ is now going after Adobe. Chances are there's going to be some high-powered, high-end attorneys out there willing to take the plunge and spend the money to sue Adobe. I think Adobe has a rough road ahead of them going forward in the next couple of years. That's my personal opinion. And I think rightfully so. Once again, they're a horrible, horrible company, an evil company at that. That's my personal opinion. If you don't believe so, so be it. I completely understand. Trust me, I was in the same position as you, using Adobe for 20 plus years. I went to school for this stuff. And in school, they made us use Adobe, and they said if you didn't use Adobe, you couldn't be a professional. Well, it was all bullshit because I became a professional and finally I cut away from Adobe and I'm still a professional and I still do high-end TV production. I do all kinds of stuff and we don't use Adobe product, all right? Anyways, a buddy of mine sent over an email that he just received yesterday from Affinity. Affinity is owned by Serif, and Serif was bought out by Canva in the past couple of years. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's just say from Affinity. Now, Affinity sent this email out. Why? Once again, they smell blood in the water. And I want to read this email to you, and then I want to get into what this all means, and then show you the website that it takes you to, because now they are offering a 6-month trial of their software with no strings attached. That is unheard of. I've never heard of that ever before, any company doing that, but we're going to get into that in this video and then some other things. But if you enjoy this content, even in the least, throw it a thumbs up. That is very helpful. And if you're not subscribed as of yet, consider doing so. And if you are, thank you. I appreciate that. Click this little notification button over here so when I go live and when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you want more content like this, if you want to get involved in the Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series that I created way back when, once again, we are revamping it. We're putting together a part 2, and that is going on now. If you want to be a part of that, I will put a link right here to that playlist. Click on that when you're done watching this video. Not now. When you're done watching this video, check it out and you'll see a lot of great information about Adobe alternatives. What can you use where you don't have to pay in perpetuity for a piece of software that you never own? Now, when you're done watching this video, down below in the comment area, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the whole Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series? Is it something that you want to hear more about? Do you want to cut the cord with Adobe if you have already not done so? And if so, what are those pain points? What software do you need that will allow you to cut the cord? Is it Photoshop? Is it Illustrator? Is it InDesign? Is it what? Down below, put that information. I would love to hear it. Anyways, let's jump right into this email. Once again, this is from a buddy of mine. His name is Trevor. It says, Trevor, with all of the discourse in the creative community at the minute, we've had a few mentions on social media and in the press naming Affinity as one of the best alternatives for those looking to switch up their photo editing and design software, which has, of course, been absolutely amazing to see. 110%. Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, and Affinity Publisher are amazing pieces of software. I wish Affinity made others, and I'll get into that in just a second. But as you may already know, it can take time to adapt working methods to new software. The potential customers have said they value an extended trial period to get used to the differences and really take the time to see what Affinity can do. That's why we decided to do something unprecedented in the industry and extend our trial period to 6 months. Yes, 6 whole months without any strings attached. Once again, no other company has ever done that. It's always like a 7-day trial. The maximum you ever see is a 30-day trial, and that is it. This is now 6 months, 180 days. That's amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. There is no subscription requirement, no obligation to buy at a later date, and trialers don't even need to enter card details to sign up. That's also unheard of. Normally, they want your credit card information, so when the trial period is over, boom, you're dinged if you didn't cancel before that set period of time. They're saying they don't do that. That is, once again, amazing. That is awesome. As an Affinity user, we know a free trial doesn't exactly apply to you. You already own the apps, absolutely. But we hope you're enjoying them enough to want to spread the word with any friends, family, and colleagues who may be interested. Learn more here. So let's head over to that website and see what it's all about. And there we have it. Affinity. 6 months free trial. Click here to get the free trial. Let's read about it a little bit. It says, get a 6-month free trial of our award-winning photo editing, page layout, and graphic design and illustration software, even if you've tried it before. That's also very important. Normally, if you try a piece of software, it puts like a little key, a little cookie, let's say, on your computer. And if you try to try the trial again, guess what? It says, oh, you've already tried it. You want to buy it? Because we're not going to install it for you and you're not going to retry it. So what they're saying is that basically will not happen with them. If you've tried it before, no problem. You can try it again. Very cool. We know it's daunting to switch your creative software, so we want to give you plenty of time to test out Affinity before you commit. And for those of you who have already tried it before but didn't buy for whatever reason, we've reset all trials so you can give it another go for a longer period of time. No obligation to buy, no payment details required to sign up. And there you go. Let's see what it says here. It says access all 3 Affinity products on Mac, Windows, and iPad. Now, if you don't know it, this is very cool. This is something that other companies don't do. So when you buy the software, all right, this is buying, you actually own it, okay? You're not renting it. When you buy the software, guess what? You get Mac, you get PC, and you get iPad versions. You could use all of them simultaneously if you want. There's not a separate fee for each individual OS. That is very cool. I really appreciate that, and many of us in the creative community also do. It continues with switch from desktop to iPad with edit history intact. This is cool. So what happens is if you're using your PC and you also have a Mac and you're working on a project, well, anything that you edited on the Mac, when you go to the PC, all those edits are going to be there. Or, even more importantly, they're also going to be there if you use the software on an iPad. So many times in the past, I'd be working on a photo or an illustration here in studio, and then I'll go home and on my iPad, I'll do some other little tweaks here and there. And all those tweaks that I did on the iPad, when I come back into the studio, they're all there. Very, very cool. Experience an unmatched workflow designed for professionals. That is absolutely the case. That round robin type of thing, that circular thing where you can use it on all operating systems simultaneously, and all those histories are recorded. So when you go from one to another, it's all there. Collaborate seamlessly with others, even if they use different software. Once again, it doesn't matter which software you're using, that history stays. Next level creative software, and that it definitely is. Used by millions of designers, artists, editors, illustrators, photographers, and other creatives around the world, the Affinity Suite includes 3 products. Now, this is important. Many of you guys have asked me, what can I use for Illustrator? What can I use for InDesign? What can I use for Photoshop? I'm telling you right now. Okay. Now there's others that you can also get into and test out, but this is one of the better. So it continues. Affinity Designer, Photo, and Publisher. Photo editing software Affinity Photo has everything that you need to edit and retouch images to produce multi-layered compositions. Graphic design software Affinity Designer gives you the tools to create stunning illustrations, high-quality concept art, unique branding, and so much more. So just so you're clear, Affinity Photo is like Photoshop. Affinity Designer is like Illustrator. It continues. And page layout powerhouse Affinity Publisher makes it easy to combine your images, graphics, and text to produce spectacular layouts for any project. So you have Adobe Photoshop, which is Affinity Photo. You have Adobe Illustrator, which is Affinity's Designer. And then you have Adobe InDesign, which is their Affinity Publisher. So all 3 of those apps, but through Affinity. Affinity Publisher also features something truly unique. Now, this is really, really cool. Listen to this. With the world's first Studio Link technology, users who own Designer and/or Photo can access the advanced tool sets of those apps without ever leaving Publisher. No need for tedious import and exporting. You can edit images and designs right in your layout. It's the most fluid workflow ever conceived in the Creative Suite, and that is absolutely the case. This is very cool stuff. Now, I've used this for quite some time. Once you have one piece of software, which is that Publisher, the other 2 pieces of software basically mesh together. They form this Studio Link. Let's say for me, if I was working on one of my books, I can go directly into Publisher and not leave Publisher. That means that I can use Photo and I can use the Designer, both one vector and one photo tool, internally to Publisher using their Studio Link technology. Basically, all pieces of software are in one or can be accessed through that one. So you don't have to go and load in one software, load in the next one, load in the other, have 3 different software, then bring things over, copy, paste, import, export. You don't need to do that. It all happens within that one piece of software. It finalizes with incredibly smooth and impressively precise, non-destructive editing, lightning fast speeds and performance even on complex projects. I can attest to that. I have Affinity Publisher documents that are gigabytes in size. Gigabytes, 4 or 5 gigabytes. I load them up, I do edits, and the thing is not slowed down. If I did that way back in the day, sitting in Illustrator, oh my God, the thing would like dump itself. It couldn't handle it. I would crash out so many times. With this, it's absolutely no problem. Absolute factual information. Once again, let me just say before I continue, I am not working for Affinity. I do not get a kickback from Affinity, from Serif. I do not get anything from them. This is my experience, and that's why I'm giving it to you, to hopefully help you out, not because it helps me in any way. If you want to help me, I'm going to put a little thank you button down here. If you click on that and give $1 or $2, that's fantastic. If you don't want to, that is no problem. You still will get my videos for free. But if you want to help out the channel, there will be that thank you button down there. Anyways, it finishes with optimized for the latest hardware, iPad apps that pack the same power as desktop counterpart. That is absolute truth. Real-time rendering of edits, compatible with other major file types. Now that is a very important final bullet point. People have asked me this in the past. Listen, I've been using Photoshop for so long. Can I move from Photoshop to this Affinity stuff? Is it possible? Will it read those files? And the answer to that is yes. Not only will it read in like a PSD file, it'll also write out a PSD file if you needed it to. But what I found is once I went into Affinity Photo, even before I made the full switch, I didn't want to go back into the Photoshop anymore because Photoshop crashed a lot for me, while Affinity Photo didn't crash. So I really was enjoying the software. This is before I even switched to it. I tested out probably 7, maybe 10 different Photoshop alternatives before I ended up going with Affinity Photo. Matter of fact, I did a video, if you check that out over here, I just did one, I think last week or the week before, about the move over to Affinity Photo from Adobe Photoshop and why, right? Once again, this channel is always about the why. That is very, very important. Now, in my personal opinion, Affinity Photo, Designer, and Publisher are by far the best alternatives currently out there for InDesign, for Adobe's Illustrator, as well as Photoshop. That's my personal opinion after doing a lot of testing. Now, there's other pieces of software that you can use for different things, and I'm going to get into that in future videos. For example, if you need a photo editor, a raw editor, and you want to replace Lightroom, if you need a editor that you're currently using for video that is like Premiere, or if you're even using Final Cut on a Mac, I have something that is perfect for you that will cost you nothing. And then also some other software that can be Photoshop-like or vector-based. If you're looking for a piece of software that you don't want to download to your computer, you just want to use something that is online, I have some options once again for you. Future video that will be coming. Once again, if you want more Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord, let me know down below in the comment area. Let me know what pieces of software you're looking for alternatives. Are you currently using Adobe? Are you trying to move away from Adobe? Are you sick of Adobe's practices? Is it very difficult for you to unsubscribe from them like it was for me? My video that I did way back 5 years ago that blew up with 100,000 plus 200,000 views when I cut the cord with Adobe and I started the Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series, I recorded these people. You can listen to it in those past videos where they're just absolutely absurdly nasty at trying to get you to stay. They literally go through hoops to try to get you to stay with Adobe. This is what they do. But they even have like social engineers, like psychologists that will work on you after the main guy does it. You know, when you go and buy a car and you are sitting there with the guy and he's the sales guy and blah, 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 and you're finally getting to the point where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And then they're like, you know what? Let me get my manager, the sales manager. He'll come over and maybe he can work a better deal with you. And then he sends that guy out. Now that's the guy, right? That's the guy that closes the deal. Well, the same thing holds true with Adobe. When you try to get out of Adobe, they will send you to that guy. That guy will offer you 30 days free, 90 days free. He will offer you a half price on your subscription. So if you're paying, let's say $10 a month or $20 a month, you're going to pay half of that. If you're paying $60 a month, you're going to pay half of that, 30 bucks. Anything that they can do to hold you fast. And once again, this is an evil company. They use your information. They do, let's say, a lot of nefarious things. And I don't really want to get into all the details in this video because I want to highlight the good stuff that's going on over there with Serif. Now it's Canva, but Serif Affinity, right? Check them out. Right now, they have that 6-month free trial. There is no reason for you not to go and download this. Once again, you do not have to put in your credit card. You will thank me over and over. I can't tell you how many thanks I get now 5 years down the road. Thank you. I've been using this software for X number of years now, and I cut the cord. Thank you so much for your videos. And I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. That means that I am doing my job. Once again, I don't get anything for this at all. If you want to say thank you by clicking that thank you button, go ahead and do so. If you don't want to, it's no problem. You're still going to get the videos for free. Once again, click this little button over here after you subscribe, the notification button, so when I come out with more of these videos, you will get them immediately. And don't forget to take a look at that Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series, that playlist, because all of those videos are in there just for you to go check out. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this interesting, entertaining, educational, something helpful. If you did, throw the video a thumbs up. That is all that I ask. I would really appreciate that. Finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the many years. Check out my merch, my tees, my book, my shirts, and all the rest of this stuff. Check everything out. Pick something up. Help support me and my family. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.